What is up, everybody? I'm Josiah Leroy. We are at Buffalo Game Space Showcase 2017. I'm with two good friends, Ryan Mallette and Mark Zorn. They are on the advisory board and the board for Buffalo Game Space. We're at their showcase, as I mentioned, so we've got a ton of local developers here in Western New York showing off some of their current projects. Ryan, how thrilled are you with the event so far? It looks like we've got a pretty good turnout in there.
Yeah, whenever you're running something like this, it's always just a little bit like you're a bit nervous of how it's actually going to go, and we've spent so much time working on this and planning it and everything. It's awesome because it was already like 6:30 and there are at least like 50 people in the door, like just as a guesstimate, but it's pretty busy in there and it has been consistent, so we're pretty excited.
Like I mentioned, we got off the elevator. We're at a relatively tall building in Buffalo, and you could just hear the noise as soon as you got on the fourth level here, and it was like, oh man, this is awesome. We know where to go. I've been meaning to kind of hook up with Ryan in the Buffalo Game Space for a long time, so saw each other at the Star premiere, and this is where it goes. Mark, same kind of question. How thrilled are you with the event so far? And this is the second annual one for you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great just to see the community come out, see what we've been working on tirelessly, every day, day in, day out. It's all kind of what we do here at Buffalo Game Space, just try to bring people together to be able to make games and be able to have people play them. And it's been great.
So I guess that's a good question. For our viewers at home, if you are not familiar with Buffalo Game Space, what is the organization about, and what do you guys do in a nutshell? I know Mark touched on it briefly.
We are a makerspace to try and grow and develop the game development community. And game development isn't just limited to programming, it's artists and musicians and people who enjoy writing, any of that stuff. Like, games are a great medium just because it's cross-disciplinary. Like, anything you do in the creative arts of any sort can apply to game development. So we just try and grow that in the community, and it's been great so far. We've been at it for a few years now, and it's just been continually growing. We do game development meetups every other week, where everyone just comes in, checks on their project, shows it, answers questions, talks about different approaches to game development and stuff like that. So it's a fantastic community to be a part of.
You mentioned musicians.
Yes.
You and I might know a thing about that.
Yeah, Josiah and I go way back. We used to play in bands together. So
I've known Ryan since I was 13, so it's very good. I kind of asked, we're at the premiere for Star, which is another local project in Western New York. It was a movie that released a few weeks back. Ryan's uncle is one of the stars of that.
The star.
That's right. Yes. One question I asked all the cast there is what would you want people to take away from their event? So, Mark, at tonight's event and trying all these games and meeting you guys and local Buffalo people, what would you want them to take away?
Well, really, the game development is something that you can do. You can learn to do it. It takes all disciplines, like Ryan was saying. You can be an artist, a musician, just a thought person. Game design. You can be a writer. You can be a programmer. And it's something you can do in Buffalo. You don't have to go to Toronto, to New York City. You don't have to go to the West Coast. It's something that you can do in town. We're teaching workshops. We're teaching people how to do it. We're facilitating all of it. So come on out and learn how to do it is what we're trying to do. And we want the community to realize that this is something that you can do right here.
It's pretty awesome. And I think at the Geekiverse, we share kind of the same philosophy. If you're passionate about something, we want you, whatever it is. So we want to talk about it. We want to develop it. There's an educational aspect to what you guys do, obviously. And you guys are a non-for-profit organization here in Western New York. Ryan, this might be tough and it might be a little bit biased for you on the board, but what would be your favorite game that you've seen out on the floor tonight, if you could pick one? And I know I'm probably setting you up for failure here.
I honestly haven't had much time to get out there yet. I was bartending for a bit and then also partaking in our podcast that we're streaming on Twitch, which the Geekiverse also joined us tonight on. One of my favorite things that I've seen coming for a while is from our friend Quasi. He is developing a game called Shotgun Farmers, which is a first-person shooter. It's a multiplayer game, but instead of picking up guns and ammo, like whenever you shoot, like the bullet turns into a plant that grows a gun. It's an incredible concept, and it's just a blast to play. And like he's been working really hard on it. I know he's rushing towards release, and he just decided to go into early access the other day. So that's going to be happening soon. But everyone just does some really fantastic work around here. Like, I have so much love and respect for everyone around here. It's just such a great community to be a part of.
So the question is, when is there going to be a shotgun farming simulator crossover? Okay, not really. I had to. Mark, same question. Do you have a favorite game that you've seen out on the floor yet tonight?
Well, since he picked Shocking Farmers, I won't talk about that anymore. Although I will say he's been working really hard on that. He's a single developer, team developer. He's been doing it for 140 days. He streams all his development, so it's great. Go check him out, twitch.tv/QuasiTV. But there's some really cool VR stuff in there too, which is, it's an up-and-coming kind of genre and an up-and-coming technology, but it's all something we can do here too. So two of our members are both working on VR games right now, which are just, it's really cool to just sit down and just feel like you're in the cockpit of a spaceship, or if you're in this kind of cyberspace kind of VR world and you can swing around and move around, and that stuff's just really cool, and it's all stuff we can teach you how to do. It's all stuff that's very doable for anyone out there.
I think a big emphasis with whether it's Buffalo Game Space or Geekiverse or maybe Adam Steigart with Deftone Picture Studios is that all the talent's here in Buffalo, and it's time to kind of make our city a destination for that stuff. So it's very exciting to see us all collaborate on that. Wrapping things up here, what can we expect from Buffalo Game Space in the future? What's next after our event tonight? What are you guys working on?
Good question. This has been very much a priority for a while. It's really been our main focus for a bit. We're always doing, we have a series of workshops like Mark was talking about. We always do our bi-weekly meetup that's free to the public. Anyone can come in and, just kind of see what people are working on, or, if they happen to be working on something they haven't been here yet, bring it in, talk to us. The other thing we do semi-regularly, probably every 4 or 6 months, we have game jams. A game jam is like a couple-day-long hackathon where you get together in a group, there's a theme, and you make a game. And as Mark is talking about, like, anyone can do this. Like, that is your best opportunity to do so. So we have our own BGS jams. We just had one 3-4 weeks ago, and we'll be heading on our 10th one in the next few months, I'm sure. We also sponsor Ludum Dare and Global Game Jam and stuff like that. So that's, any discipline that's the best time to come in and actually make a game. It's fantastic.
I love everything I'm hearing. Maybe we'll be out at the next one. So, Mark, where can we find you guys on social media? I was just on the podcast live on Twitch. That was a freaking blast. I can't wait to have them on our podcast over on G3. So where can we find you? And also, for some of your developers, where can we find the games that they're making?
Sure. So BuffaloGameService.com is kind of the central place for everything. We're on Facebook, we're on Meetup, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on everything. All our events are on Facebook and Meetup, so you can find us there. There's, like you said, the Twitch podcast that we do every Friday, and then sometimes beyond that. And what am I missing? Yes, so finding games. So we have our itch.io. We have a Buffalo Game Space page where a lot of members can see that. And then from the website and whatnot, you can link off to some of our other members' games on Steam, on Itch, the Humble Store, stuff like that. So we're kind of everywhere,
Love to hear it. Definitely check these guys out. They are doing big things in Buffalo. Geekiverse is very happy to be a part of that as well. Mark, thank you very much for coming on, sir. Appreciate it. Ryan, one of my longest friends, thank you very much for being on. I'm Josiah Leroy. So for everything for Buffalo Game Space, you're already in the right spot. The Geekiverse, thanks for watching.